Okay, here we are the next morning. What I did to close this project up and get the car ready to run, the pipe in the back there, I believe it's the blow-by pipe or the breather tube, whatever they call it. It's whatever fumes accumulates in here, it'll pass it back to the chambers. And basically I broke that when I tried to unclip it, and it broke right here in the middle. And I already ordered this off the FCP Euro website. In case it breaks again, I can return it and get free of these. I ordered the genuine one, the one from BMW. It was kind of expensive, like 60 bucks I believe. But for right now, this should get me by. And I cleaned this with some alcohol wipes, so this tape can stick really good to it. I just used a regular 3M. It's the tape that they use for the AC duct. Cut an opening on this so I can reuse it. I'm just gonna put it over like this so it can protect me from the heat. Now I'm gonna finish up, put the cover back on. Basically everything what we did at the very beginning of this video, I'm gonna do everything in reverse. Just making sure I didn't forget any of the connections to be hooked up back into place. Everything seems good. All right, let's finish her up. And lastly, what I want to do is I'm gonna change the oil, and that's my final step, and then start the car. Alrighty, if that wasn't the most obedient way to jack up the car up on the ramps, a lot of you probably are saying, why don't you just turn the car and drive up the ramps? Well, I want to change the oil and I didn't want to turn the car on, so this was one way to bring the car up on the stands. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and change the oil. For those of you who haven't watched some of my other videos, there's another video on how to change the oil. There's a more in detail change of oil, and then there's like a 3-minute oil change, like literally gonna take you 3 minutes to watch the video and to learn how to change the oil on a Beamer like this. All right, we got the filter changed and we're waiting on our oil to drip to the last drop. Alrighty, the oil is changed. Now let's put on the cover. Alright, one last thing before I turn the car is I'm gonna check on the fluid level here, and we can see it's a little bit low. It's because when we took off the hose here so we have more room for the gasket, we lost a little bit of fluid. So here's this, let's fill it up. Alright, and as you can see, the second bowl here needs to be level with the cap here as shown in the picture. So we got the second bowl level here, and we are in cold status right now, so that should be it. Sometimes you might want to push it down and see that it actually comes up to the point. All right, now we good. All right, now we're ready to start up the car. Just a little disclaimer, I've done this before, and what's gonna happen, maybe not for you guys, but at least for my case, what's gonna happen, you're gonna see a lot of smoke coming off. It's because of the excess oil. When we took off the valve cover, it's gonna slide into the hot components there, and gonna make the oil evaporate all over the place here. Another thing you might notice is the engine is gonna run very rough. It's gonna shake a lot because the time chain is trying to adjust itself to the new settings or to the new spark plugs. And if that happens and your car is taking longer than 5 minutes to adjust, then one thing you can do is you can remove the airflow sensor here, which is this sensor here. So if you remove the sensor here, it smoothens out the rough idle, and then you can push it back in here. All right, let's give it a shot. And here's the burning of the excess oil. So, it did not turn out that the spark plugs were overfilled or flooded with oil, because when I turned the car on, it looked like it was going smooth, but then it went right back to that shaking and really bad response when you try to push on the gas pedal. So here's what was wrong with it. The ignition coil. Now, how do I know it's specifically this one? So after testing the engine with a OBD2 scanner, the very first time when you saw the video at the beginning of this video, number 1 and 4 were bad, and after we did all the change and all this, and we clean out the area real good here, so no oil deposit were to be found, number 1 is good now, and number 4 was still bad. So what I did, I swapped number 4 with number 3 out, and then I scanned again with the OBD scanner, and number 3 came back as being bad, and before it was good. So then I did one more test. I took it from number 3 and changed out with number 6 right there in the corner, and number 6 came after that as bad. So 2 tests to determine that this, everywhere you put this on whatever cylinder, that cylinder will give the code of misfire. So there you have it. If you run into the same problem, hopefully not, but if you do, this one way to check it, and hopefully it's just this, and it doesn't go all the way down to, let's say, the fuel line where the injectors are right here, or the electrical box right here. Like, let's say this doesn't get the right power, but which in our case the electrical box here works, because everywhere you place this, this gives the fault for that specific cylinder. And also, one last test I did, I just let this completely out and had only 5 cylinders running, and just to see how the car will behave, and it did not change at all. So the rough idle and the rough engine running was just exactly the same with or without this. So I'm probably gonna buy all 6 of these, because they say if one is going bad, then the other one are just around the corner to go bad, because these work literally on time, like on hours. So how many hours you got on these, the other one are just very close to follow this bad one. So yeah, just might as well replace all 6 of them. I'll get right back with you guys to do the replacements of all these 6, and we'll see how that's gonna go. So I'll go online real quick now and order them.